This podcast contains discussions of violent content that may be disturbing or triggering to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are for informational and entertainment purposes only and do not reflect those of the podcast creators. If you or someone you know is struggling, please seek help from a trusted professional or resource. This episode is brought to you by listeners like you, fueling our podcast and giving us the boost behind this mic. Thank you for your support. Prepare for warp speed as we embark on a voyage through the vast expanse of science fiction in movies and television series. From distant planets to alien civilizations, we delve into the heart of the unknown, unraveling the tales that have captured audiences for generations. Get ready to unlock the secrets of the universe on Code Flix. Greetings, fellow sci-fi and fantasy lovers. Welcome to Code Flix. We explore the TV shows and movies that shape our imaginations. I'm André Varner, and in today's episode, we'll be questioning reality in a digital world in the movie The Matrix. I remember watching this movie, and when I started high school, it had me shook at first. The scenes with Neo's lips sealing shut and him pulling that strange umbilical cord from his throat were straight up terrifying back then. But over time, I got past the initial shock and started to appreciate the genius of it all, especially how Neo, much like Alice, fell down his own rabbit hole into a completely different world. This movie is the one that makes you question everything you think you know about reality. Are our experiences real? Or are they just signals being fed to our brains? Imagine everything you've ever known was part of an elaborate simulation. How would you even begin to tell what's real and what's not? Watching this not only blew my mind, but also inspired me to dig deeper into understanding the nature of reality and how we know what we know. It's a film that truly changed the way I see the world.
The Matrix is a 1999 science fiction action film written and directed by the Wachowskis. It is the first installment in the Matrix film series, starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, Hugo Weaving, and Joe Pantoliano, and depicts a dystopian future in which humanity is unknowingly trapped inside the Matrix, a simulated reality that intelligent machines have created to distract humans while using their bodies as an energy source. When computer programmer Thomas Anderson, under the hacker alias Neo, uncovers the truth, he joins a rebellion against the machines along with other people who have been freed from the Matrix. The Matrix is an example of the cyberpunk subgenre of science fiction. The Wachowskis' approach to action scenes was influenced by anime, and martial arts films, particularly fight choreographers and wire-fu techniques from Hong Kong action cinema. Other influences include Plato's Cave and 1990s telnet hacker communities. The film popularized terms such as the red pill, and introduced a visual effect known as bullet time, in which the heightened perception of certain characters is represented by allowing the action within a shot to progress in slow motion while the camera appears to move through the scene at normal speed, allowing the sped-up movements of certain characters to be perceived normally. The Matrix opened in theaters in the United States on 31st March 1999, to widespread acclaim from critics, who praised its innovative visual effects, action sequences, cinematography, and entertainment value. The film was a box office success, grossing over $460 million on a $63 million budget, becoming the highest-grossing Warner Bros. Film of 1999, and the fourth highest-grossing film of that year. The film received nominations at the 72nd Academy Awards for Best Visual Effects, Best Film Editing, Best Sound and Best Sound Editing, winning all four categories. The film was also the recipient of numerous other accolades, including Best Sound and Best Special Visual Effects at the 53rd British Academy Film Awards, and the Wachowskis were awarded Best Director and Best Science Fiction Film at the 26th Saturn Awards. The Matrix is considered to be among the greatest science fiction films of all time, and in 2012, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. The film's success led to two feature film sequels being released in 2003, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, which were also written and directed by the Wachowskis. The Matrix franchise was further expanded through the production of comic books, video games and an animated anthology film, The Animatrix, with which the Wachowskis were heavily involved. The franchise has also inspired books and theories expanding on some of the religious and philosophical ideas alluded to in the films. A fourth film, titled The Matrix Resurrections, was released in 2021. At an abandoned hotel, a police squad corners Trinity, who overpowers them with superhuman abilities. She flees, pursued by the police and a group of suited agents capable of similar superhuman feats. She answers a ringing public telephone and vanishes. Computer programmer Thomas Anderson, known by his hacking alias Neo, is puzzled by repeated online encounters with the phrase The Matrix. Trinity contacts him and tells him a man named Morpheus has the answers Neo seeks. A team of agents and police, led by Agent Smith, arrives at Neo's workplace in search of Neo. Though Morpheus attempts to guide Neo to safety, Neo surrenders rather than risk a dangerous escape. The agents offer to erase Neo's criminal record in exchange for his help with locating Morpheus, who they claim is a terrorist. When Neo refuses to cooperate, they fuse his mouth shut, pin him down, and implant a robotic bug in his abdomen. Neo wakes up from what he believes to be a nightmare. Soon after, Trinity takes Neo to meet Morpheus, and she removes the bug from Neo. Morpheus offers Neo a choice between two pills, red to reveal the truth about the Matrix or blue to make Neo forget everything and return to his former life. Neo takes the red pill, and his reality begins to distort until he awakens in a liquid-filled pod among countless other pods, containing other humans. He is then brought aboard Morpheus's flying ship, the Nebuchadnezzar. As Neo recuperates from a lifetime of physical inactivity in the pod, Morpheus explains the history. In the early 21st century, humanity had developed intelligent machines before war broke out between the two sides. After humans blocked the machines' access to solar energy, the machines responded by enslaving humankind and harvesting their bioelectric power while keeping their minds pacified in the Matrix, a shared simulated reality modeled on the world as it was in 1999. In the years following, the remaining free humans took refuge in the underground city of Zion. Morpheus and his crew are a group of rebels who hack into the Matrix to unplug enslaved humans and recruit them. Their understanding of the Matrix's simulated nature allows them to bend its physical laws. Morpheus warns Neo that death within the Matrix kills the physical body too and explains that the agents are sentient programs that eliminate threats to the system, while machines called Sentinels eliminate rebels in the real world. Neo's prowess during virtual training cements Morpheus's belief that Neo is the one, a human prophesied to free humankind. The group enters the Matrix to visit the Oracle, a prophet-like program who predicted that the One would emerge. She implies to Neo that he is not the One and warns that he will have to choose between Morpheus's life and his own. Before they can leave the Matrix, agents and police ambush the group, tipped off by Cypher, a disgruntled crew member who has betrayed Morpheus in exchange for a deal to be plugged back into the Matrix to live a comfortable life. To buy time for the others, Morpheus fights Smith and is captured. Cypher exits the Matrix, murders 3 crew members, and severely wounds a 4th, Tank. Before he can kill Neo and Trinity, Tank regains consciousness and kills him before pulling Neo and Trinity from the Matrix. The agents interrogate Morpheus to learn his access codes to the mainframe computer in Zion, which would allow them to destroy it. Neo resolves to return to the Matrix to rescue Morpheus. As the Oracle prophesied, Trinity insists on accompanying him. While rescuing Morpheus, Neo gains confidence in his abilities, performing feats comparable to those of the agents. After Morpheus and Trinity safely exit the Matrix, Smith ambushes and appears to kill Neo. While a group of Sentinels attack the Nebuchadnezzar, Trinity confesses her love for Neo and says the Oracle told her she would fall in love with the One. Neo is revived, with newfound abilities to perceive and control the Matrix. He easily defeats Smith, prompting the other agents to flee, and he leaves the Matrix just as the ship's electromagnetic pulse disables the Sentinels. Back in the Matrix, Neo makes a telephone call, promising the machines that he will show their prisoners a world where anything is possible, before he hangs up and flies away. Here are some major themes and key symbols in the movie. Major themes in the Matrix. Reality versus illusion. The film poses the question, what is real? It explores the nature of perception and challenges the audience to consider whether the world they experience is genuine or an illusion. The Matrix itself is a metaphor for false realities imposed by external forces, whether societal, technological, or philosophical. Escaping the Matrix symbolizes the pursuit of truth and the rejection of complacency. Free will and choice. Central to Neo's journey is the theme of choice, embodied by Morpheus offering him the red pill, truth and freedom, or the blue pill, ignorance and illusion. Throughout the film, Neo grapples with his ability to make choices that define his identity and destiny, emphasizing that true freedom lies in embracing one's agency, even in the face of uncertainty. Identity and self-discovery. Neo's journey mirrors a classic hero's journey, where he discovers his true identity as the One. His growth from an ordinary individual to a savior figure underscores the idea that self-knowledge and belief in oneself are transformative. The film also explores identity in a digital age, with characters adopting hacker aliases and living dual lives within the Matrix and the real world. Control and rebellion. The machines symbolize oppressive systems of control, using the Matrix to manipulate human perception and keep them subjugated. The human resistance, led by Morpheus and Trinity, represents the fight against conformity and the courage to challenge authority. Neo's eventual awakening signifies the power of rebellion against systems that exploit and dehumanize. Technology and humanity. The film examines the dangers of over-reliance on technology, presenting a world where machines have enslaved humanity. However, it also portrays technology as a tool for liberation, as the rebels use their knowledge of the Matrix to fight back, suggesting that technology is neither inherently good nor bad but depends on its use. Philosophy and spirituality. Drawing from philosophical traditions, the Matrix questions the nature of existence, reality, and knowledge. It incorporates elements of Plato's allegory of the cave, Descartes' skepticism, I think, therefore I am, and Baudrillard's concept of simulacra and simulation. The film also features spiritual overtones, with Neo depicted as a Christ-like figure embodying themes of prophecy, sacrifice, and resurrection. Key symbols in the Matrix. The red pill and blue pill. These iconic symbols represent the choice between truth, red pill, and comfortable ignorance, blue pill. This decision underscores the film's central conflict between freedom and control, as well as the courage required to confront reality. The Matrix itself. The Matrix is a symbol of false realities and systemic control. It represents the structures, political, social, or technological, that blind individuals to the truth of their existence. The Green Code. The cascading green code represents the underlying construct of the Matrix. It symbolizes the artificial nature of the simulated reality and serves as a visual motif for the technological manipulation of the world. Neo as the One. Neo's journey to become the One is symbolic of self-realization, empowerment, and the fulfillment of potential. His transformation reflects the idea that belief and self-knowledge can lead to extraordinary achievements. Mirrors and reflections. Mirrors appear throughout the film, representing the duality of the Matrix and the real world, as well as the idea of self-reflection and discovering hidden truths about oneself and one's surroundings. Agent Smith. As the primary antagonist, Agent Smith symbolizes the enforcers of control and conformity. His character also represents the dehumanizing effects of technology and bureaucracy. Legacy and cultural impact. Influence on filmmaking. The Matrix revolutionized visual storytelling with its innovative use of bullet time, wire-fu choreography, and computer-generated effects. These techniques became staples in action cinema and inspired countless films and video games. Cultural and philosophical resonance. The film's exploration of reality, identity, and freedom struck a chord with audiences, making it a reference point in discussions of philosophy, technology, and societal control. Terms like red pill have entered popular culture, though they've been interpreted in different contexts. Franchise expansion. The Matrix spawned two sequels, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, an animated anthology, The Animatrix, video games, and a fourth installment, The Matrix Resurrections, 2021. The franchise continues to explore its core themes while expanding its mythology. Conclusion. The Matrix, 1999, is a timeless exploration of reality, freedom, and the human spirit's capacity to challenge oppression. With its blend of cutting-edge visuals, philosophical depth, and compelling storytelling, the film remains a landmark in science fiction and a profound meditation on what it means to awaken to the truth. Its influence on popular culture, technology, and storytelling endures, making it one of the most significant films of the late 20th century. Here's a character analysis of the main characters in The Matrix, 1999. Neo Thomas Anderson, Keanu Reeves. Neo is the central protagonist, a hacker who discovers that his reality is an artificial simulation controlled by machines. Initially unsure of his role, Neo's journey is one of self-discovery and transformation into the One, a messianic figure destined to liberate humanity. His character embodies themes of choice, destiny, and the search for truth. Neo's growth is marked by his increasing confidence and willingness to defy limits, ultimately realizing his potential to manipulate the Matrix. Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne. Morpheus is a charismatic leader and mentor who believes unwaveringly in Neo's potential as the One. His faith in prophecy and his mission to free humanity from the Matrix drive his actions. Morpheus represents wisdom, hope, and belief in the face of overwhelming odds. His guidance and sacrifice highlight his deep commitment to the resistance and his trust in Neo, even when others doubt. Trinity, Carrie-Anne Moss. Trinity is a skilled hacker and warrior who serves as Neo's ally and love interest. Her character balances strength, intelligence, and vulnerability, making her a key figure in Neo's transformation. Trinity's loyalty to Morpheus and belief in Neo reflect her devotion to the cause. Her love for Neo becomes a catalyst for his ultimate awakening, adding a personal dimension to the larger battle for humanity. Agent Smith, Hugo Weaving. Agent Smith is a sentient program within the Matrix tasked with maintaining order by eliminating threats to the system. He is cold, calculating, and increasingly disdainful of humanity, seeing them as a virus. Smith's character represents authoritarian control and the oppressive nature of the Matrix. His relentless pursuit of Neo and the rebels makes him the embodiment of the machine's resistance to change and liberation. The Oracle, Gloria Foster. The Oracle is a wise and enigmatic figure who provides guidance to Neo and others within the resistance. While her prophecies seem cryptic, they often lead characters toward self-discovery. The Oracle embodies the idea of choice and free will, as she nudges Neo to realize his destiny rather than dictating it. Her calm demeanor and deep understanding of the Matrix make her a central figure in the rebels' fight. Cypher, Joe Pantoliano. Cypher is a disillusioned member of Morpheus's crew who betrays the group to return to the blissful ignorance of the Matrix. His character explores themes of regret, temptation, and the cost of truth. Cypher's actions highlight the psychological toll of living in the harsh reality outside the Matrix and serve as a foil to Neo's commitment to the cause. Tank, Marcus Chong. Tank is the operator of the Nebuchadnezzar, responsible for managing the crew's connections to the Matrix. He is optimistic, loyal, and resourceful, providing support to the team even under dire circumstances. Tank's unwavering commitment to the resistance contrasts with Cypher's betrayal, emphasizing his belief in the fight for humanity's freedom. Dozer, Anthony Ray Parker. Dozer, Tank's brother, is also an operator and a staunch supporter of the resistance. Like Tank, he is deeply committed to humanity's liberation. While his role is less prominent, he symbolizes the resilience and unity of those fighting against the machines. Mouse, Matt Doran. Mouse is the youngest and most inexperienced member of Morpheus's crew. He is curious and inventive, responsible for programming elements within the Matrix, such as the woman in the red dress. Mouse's character adds a sense of youthful optimism, and creativity, contrasting with the darker tones of the narrative. The Matrix uses its characters to explore themes of reality, identity, and resistance, with each figure contributing uniquely to Neo's journey and the broader battle for humanity's liberation. Here is a detailed overview of the production and design of the film. Production 1. Development. The Wachowskis wrote the script for The Matrix in the mid-1990s, inspired by a blend of science fiction, anime, notably Ghost in the Shell, cyberpunk literature, Neuromancer by William Gibson, and philosophical concepts such as simulated reality and free will. Warner Bros. And Village Roadshow Pictures produced the film, but it was initially a hard sell due to its ambitious ideas. The Wachowskis created a 600-page storyboard to visually convey their vision. The filmmakers secured a budget of $63 million, with Warner Bros. Only fully committing after seeing a short proof-of-concept demonstration of the film's unique visual style. 2. Casting. Keanu Reeves was cast as Neo, the film's protagonist, after several A-list actors, including Will Smith, passed on the role. Reeves' dedication to the physical demands and philosophical undertones made him ideal for the role. Carrie-Anne Moss was cast as Trinity, marking her breakout role. She trained extensively for her action sequences. Lawrence Fishburne played Morpheus, the mentor figure, while Hugo Weaving portrayed the sinister Agent Smith with a distinct, calculated delivery. The Wachowskis prioritized finding actors willing to undergo intense martial arts training as they wanted authenticity in the film's action sequences. 3. Filming. Principal photography took place in Sydney, Australia, utilizing a mix of urban locations and soundstages to bring the film's dual worlds, the simulated Matrix and the real world, to life. Filming spanned from March to August 1998, with extensive post-production following. The opening sequence, Trinity's Escape, was filmed first to demonstrate the film's tone and unique action style to studio executives. Design. 1. Production design. The production design of The Matrix blended cyberpunk aesthetics with gritty realism to create a distinct visual dichotomy between the real world and the simulation. The Matrix world. Designed to look hyperreal yet subtly unsettling, reflecting the artificial nature of the simulation. The green tint applied to Matrix scenes was inspired by the color of computer code and gave the environment a sterile, digital feel. Filming utilized Sydney's architecture, emphasizing urban environments with clean, modernist lines and a slightly oppressive atmosphere. The real world. The real-world design is dark, grimy, and industrial, representing humanity's dystopian reality under machine control. Sets like the hovercraft Nebuchadnezzar were filled with exposed wiring, rusted metal, and low-tech analog equipment, contrasting sharply with the sleek, high-tech feel of the Matrix. 2. Costume design. Designed by Kevin Barrett, the costumes emphasized individuality and identity within the oppressive system of the Matrix. Neo, his iconic black trench coat and sunglasses convey his transformation from a passive hacker to a confident hero, symbolizing rebellion and control. Trinity, her sleek, black leather bodysuit emphasizes her agility and strength, while reflecting the cyberpunk aesthetic. Agents. The agents' identical dark suits, earpieces, and sunglasses underscore their uniformity and inhumanity, embodying the omnipresent system. Real-world costumes were muted and worn, symbolizing the harsh conditions of humanity's true existence. 3. Cinematography. Cinematographer Bill Pope used precise framing and lighting to emphasize the film's visual dichotomies. The team employed wide-angle lenses and bold lighting contrasts to enhance the oppressive feel of the Matrix and the bleakness of the real world. The extensive use of slow motion and bullet time effects revolutionized action sequences. 4. Visual effects. Bullet time. Perhaps the film's most iconic innovation, bullet time used a rig of 120 still cameras arranged in a circular array to capture action sequences at variable speeds. This technique allowed for 360-degree slow-motion shots, creating an unprecedented visual style. The Wachowskis and visual effects supervisor John Gita collaborated closely to perfect this technique, blending practical effects with computer-generated imagery. Wire Fu. Martial arts sequences were choreographed by Yuen Wu-ping, a legendary fight coordinator from Hong Kong cinema. Actors trained for months to master martial arts techniques and perform wire stunts, lending authenticity to the action. Wire rigs were used to create the illusion of superhuman abilities, such as wall running and impossible acrobatics. CGI. The film's groundbreaking effects blended seamlessly with practical stunts, from neo-dodging bullets to the destruction of the office building lobby. 5. Sound design. Dane A. Davis, the film's sound designer, created unique audio effects for The Matrix, including the iconic bullet whooshes and the digital distortion sounds that accompany glitches or shifts within the simulation. Sound played a key role in immersing viewers in the Matrix's artificial world, with mechanical, sterile tones contrasting with the visceral, naturalistic sounds of the real world. 6. Music. The score, composed by Don Davis, blended orchestral arrangements with electronic elements, mirroring the film's thematic conflict between humanity and machines. The soundtrack features prominent techno, industrial, and rock music, including songs by Rage Against the Machine, The Prodigy, and Rob Zombie, emphasizing the cyberpunk aesthetic. Iconic scenes and design elements. The red pill blue pill scene. The mirrored surfaces and lighting within Morpheus's lair emphasized the surreal nature of Neo's choice. The red and blue pills became a cultural symbol, representing free will versus ignorance. The lobby shootout. The scene's meticulous choreography, combined with practical effects and wire stunts, remains one of the most visually stunning action sequences in film history. Concrete pillars and debris were created practically, with CGI enhancing the destruction. Neo's awakening. The real-world birthing pod was designed to look both mechanical and organic, highlighting the horrifying reality of human enslavement. Practical effects, prosthetics, and CG combined seamlessly to create the unsettling scene. Cultural and industry impact. The production and design of The Matrix set a new benchmark for visual storytelling, with its innovations in cinematography, visual effects, and fight choreography influencing countless films and TV series. Its blend of cyberpunk aesthetics, philosophy, and action established it as a landmark in both science fiction and filmmaking. The Matrix remains a masterclass in how visionary direction, meticulous design, and groundbreaking technology can come together to create a cinematic masterpiece.
So here are my personal insights and interpretations of The Matrix, including favorite moments, themes, and characters, right? Let's do this. So, in the opening scene, we see that, or we hear a conversation over a phone between Trinity and Cypher, right? Which we didn't know at the time. And we realize that police start to surround the building where Trinity is hiding, right? And then it get kicked in a third gear when Trinity defeat a group of the officers them with her abilities. So she have her hand up, right? wrapped around her head, basically, in the position of almost surrendering, right? And the way them frame her up in the shot, something was going to go down. You know what I'm saying? And then she just hanging at the ear like for both a split second. I mean, like when I watched that for the first time, I was like, this is the bomb. This movie gonna be badass. And I was right. Right? And she dealt with them, right? Of course, the same time, Agent Smith would have arrived, right? Being the leader of, apparent, the 5-0 FBI, right? When them come and the officer that's on the scene that's controlling the situation, he was like, don't worry, man, we're bringing her down now. Easy, easy peasy. That's basically what he said. Only for Agent Smith for just turn around and look at him like him and say, no, winner, really and truly, your men are already dead. That's what he said, right? And trust me, you'll hear me quoting direct lines from the movie because I've watched it so many times, okay? Just telling you again that I'm a fan of this franchise. Anyways, yeah, so, she takes them out and she escapes by a rooftop and, officers try to pursue her and, some of them couldn't pursue her any further, but Agent Smith, one of the agents, them have run behind her, basically pursue her and thing. And, she find herself in a situation where she have to jump through a window, right? Right? Fell down a couple flight of stairs and thing. And, at that moment is, the fear and the adrenaline in one, I think, because of the way how, it was executed. She have the, the gun trained up there, just hoping that it doesn't step through that window, right? And she have to basically coax herself out and she's like, Trinity, get up. And she gets up and start running again because she's trying to find the next telephone where she can exit out of the matrix. So, yeah, I mean, that was crazy. And then she reaches to where the telephone is in the telephone booth, and when she looks, she see one garbage truck come past and thing, and garbage truck stop, right? And that's when we are introduced to the idea that the agents, they can move in and out of any software plugged into their system, basically. So they can they can become anybody and nobody, as Morpheus later tells Neo, right? Yeah. So, they crash into the boat, what I'm saying, with her in it, but she's lucky. And this is the first time she's lucky, right? Apparently. Right? This is the first time in the movie we're seeing that she's lucky, but she seems to get very lucky with, being able to exit on the phone in a boot. Yeah, before the boot or the phone gets disconnected permanently. All right, so we'll get to find out who this Neo is, right? Now, Thomas Anderson, aka Neo, right? He has one life, working in computers, a mundane office job. By night, he's a hacker with the alias Neo, seeking answers to his existential questions about the Matrix. He's been hearing about the Matrix, like how sometimes you go online and you see some stuff popping up and thing, and you're like, I never heard about this before. And you start going down the rabbit hole of Googling more, or you go on social media threads, or, on different apps, or you even ask some people who you think might be in the know like that. Yeah, that's kind of what I envision that would be, something that's happening if it was done now. Right, so Neo gets a very cryptic message. He was asleep and get a very cryptic message on his computer screen, right? And it basically, that talk to him as if they can see what he's doing and, you know? It's like, how do you know what you know, basically? That's how the vibe that you get from there is like, huh? How you watch me, how you know me, I do, all of them something there. And it basically instructs him to follow the white rabbit, right? And just then, as the text on the screen of a computer says, knock, knock, a knock comes at his door. No, that would be freaky. If me there I talk to somebody online and them say knock, knock. I mean, back then, not like no, where, technology is up like that. People can actually literally there at your front door and message you and you're inside. But back then, it would have been a thing because remember, the only thing people know so they have access to is cell phone or, phone booths. And it's not even that accessible to everyone, right? It's only to, business people and, the man on the road will have to go on to a phone booth to basically make calls and them something. And the dial-up not even so strong and fast, right? Anyways, yeah. So the person basically will come to him, seem like one of them persons him do business with, right? His side business, him night business, yeah. And the guy is like, you need to get out, you know what I'm saying, smell the air, get some oxygen, basically, It's almost like he's just basically inviting you out, And the lady that he's with, she has a white rabbit on her. And he sees the white rabbit and being given that cryptic instruction on the computer, the man decide to follow the woman and the man to the club. When he reach that club, because we're just thrown right into the club scene, and he's there and Trinity approaches him. And she basically tell him, say, you're being watched, you know what I'm saying? And the Matrix has you. That's her literal quote. She even said to him, say, yeah, search for something, maybe basically we can get answers, right? And I tell him about Morpheus. And he's like, this sounds very intriguing even more. And she's hot. That's my interpretation of that, right? Yeah. Because she basically lean up on the man, I mean, you're in a club and be a music a blast. So, you have to get close. So, that was the first non-romantic encounter that was kind of intimate. All right. So, Neo wakes up in bed, and I think this is just the nature of the Matrix, basically, because it's a simulated reality. So, it just doesn't operate with the same rules as real life. So it's not like you go see him going home and how him reach home before he wake up the next morning. You just only see him just in bed and thing. And it's a recurring thing. So you will hear me talk about him in his bed again, after something like that happened, him have an encounter. So him go work the morning now, and him boss a chew him out, basically, like him a say, oh, you're late, how much time you're late now, and thing, and he basically said to him, you seem to think that the rules don't apply to you, right? Like, you're different from everybody, but let me tell you something. You're gonna get fired. Well, he didn't literally say he's gonna get fired, but he's like, basically a chew him out and thing. And while he's there, somebody wipe the glass outside, and he keeps looking outside. So it's almost like he's defying his boss, right? Now he gets back to his desk, and while he's at his desk, that to me seemed like a legit programmer style kind of thing. And many programmers who listen to the podcast can probably tell you that as programmers, we spend a great deal of time sitting in front of our computer, looking at it as if we're looking into a void. Because sometimes we don't know how to fix the problem that we have created, right? Whether it be a bug, or we're trying to find a way to make the damn software work. So yeah, it was very Very, very good play on the role. So right after that, now the delivery guy comes in with a package for Neo for sign and thing. And when Neo sign it and thing, he's like, have a nice day. And, at first I was like, why Neo just look upon him like he was say, nigga, you know what I'm saying? What you ask, you tell him about have a nice day. But I realize it is a thing that basically, you know, they used to do a lot of that, and while people then they're looking very all dumpy and them thing, they nobody not ask you nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, have a nice day. Anyways, as Neo pull out the phone ring, right? And this is how we know said at that point, sitting there going, right? Him answer the phone, right? And because he can't really do stuff on the job, and he's not supposed to even be doing anything outside of what his work is supposed to be, Cause boss or what China I'm thinking there. Him duck down kinda, at his desk there and man site. And when him on site, you know who this is? And he's like, Morpheus? I just been this scene has been parodied so many times that I can't help but do that impression. Morpheus? Because, I think it was one of those Saturday night comedy shows that did that parody where you see Neo in the office and him answer the phone and him do a goofy voice to say Morpheus, it's like, yeah. But it's just showing that, the fact that he's been searching for this man, right? He's been hearing about the Matrix and him here said this man is related to this concept or idea of the Matrix. And so he wants to find out who this man is. You know what I'm saying? So when him get that call there and the fact that it happened, all of this happens just like that, the first thing come to your mind is to think, oh, maybe I'm Morpheus may I talk to because this man sound very, very strange, and mysterious. So Morpheus now direct him out, and tell him, say, you need to move, we don't have enough time. The agents are coming basically. And him tell him, say, if you don't believe me, you can look and see. They won't come for you. And him stand up and him look, and as him look, him see them and him duck down back quick. Very, very terrified now, Cause I wonder why 5 hour I look for him, So Morpheus guide him out of his cubicle, right, into a corner office and basically tell him, say, if you want to know more, you need to make the move to come find me, basically. Like, yeah, me guide you to this point, but I leave the rest up to you. And him hang up the phone upon him. Him have to end up and go up on a side of a building, and when he go there, and him realize, say, yo, it's very, very high, I guess, because the phone falls from his hand and he's like, shit. You know what I'm saying? No way, man, but I do this. I better go with the agents them. Perhaps I can bail myself out or something. Probably that's his thinking. Yeah. So before we see him at the station or the FBI office or wherever they took him, we see that Trinity was there. More than likely, she was waiting on him. So she probably was waiting on him for move and go up on the scaffolding, and that would have carried him to the roof, which she would probably be at the roof, and probably they would have find a way to get him out at that point. But it never worked out, and she just had to just stay there and just watch them take him away, right? And then she almost got hide because the agent, Smith him look and him see this person just watching. Anyways, now to the disturbing scene where Agent Smith interrogate Neo, right? And Neo basically I tell him, say, yo, you can go on like you want to throw the book at me and all of that, but me know my rights. Like those sovereign citizen type kind of thing. Like, yo, me know my rights, and me know some of get me one phone call, and me not talk about nothing, right? So Agent Smith say, oh, you go talk when you will be unable to speak. And we see Neo be like, wait, but my mouth there right so. You know, if I look down like if I say, wait, my mouth there so where you tell me? And then him like him mouth does start look like it I get heavy upon him. And then when I time you see him kinda try to open him out and you see, you know, the connective tissues start to just bind together and seal up. Yeah, very, very graphic. Okay. It was very scary at first because seeing that I was like, what the hell is going to happen now? Right? I had to, you know, like turn around and let it play out a little bit and listen, try to figure out if it's time to turn around back, as I couldn't stomach that, you know what I'm saying, at the time. Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying, after a while I see it and it's like, that happened. And after they do that, another weird thing happened. Them took out this thing that looked like a little machine and they dangle it. And when them dangle it, it start to manifest like it's like it's a living thing. And it look like some kind of shrimp looking kind of spidery thingy, right? So that's the only way I can kind of, you know, give you the visual if you haven't watched that particular part of the movie. So you might have been grossed out, but hey, just to describe it. And they drop it right at his navel, right? Kind of pull up his shirt and, you know, they look like they were going to assault him, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and they did assault him and drop it on his stomach, and it seemed to just probe and go straight into him. And just as it went down into him, he wakes up in his bed as if it was a dream, squirming. Can you imagine that kind of dream? You wake up, feel like that is a dream that you had. You feel relieved, you know, but at the same time you're like, what the shit happened? Yeah. So after that happens, Morpheus gives him a call again, right? Actually, Trinity gives him a call and he is given direction where he needs to go to meet them. And him go to meet them on the bridge, Rain-a-Tear, you know. Rain-a-Tear. Him stand up underneath the bridge and the car pulls up. And they say, get in. He gets in and he's like, all right, well, go on, because me know Trinity, who the hell are these two people, you know? That's the face that he's looking, you know, kind of. And the Link, she turns around and she points a gun at him and she's like, you know, you need to take off your shirt. No. You know what I'm saying? And man's like, hell no, why the hell would I do something like that, you know? But I barely know you. You know what I'm saying? And Trinity's like, you know, this is really for our protection, you know what I'm saying, from you, you know? And he's like, these people are crazy. I came to you, you know, basically. So he's like, you know, I'm tired of this. I want to come out of the car, yeah? And them stop the car and him open the door and him say, you know, like him will come out, and Trinity's like, you've been down that road, Neo. You know where it leads. And, you know, you literally see him look down the road and think. I mean, the way how things are framed, you know, after the characters say certain things and you see him just, like, you can get that reference, like, literally look down the road where him know. Because he has been down that road before. You know where it leads. So, of course, you know, he's like, sure, I want to know what going on, you know. Probably at him, I think. I would be thinking the same thing. And he decides to continue with them. So Trinity starts to kind of just, you know, break the ice a little bit, and she's like, all right, let's lift up your shirt, you know, for all of the taking our shirt thing. And, you know, it's like APOC lights. He plugs in this contraption that looks like some kind of super soaker, you know, them kind of water gun. I don't know if kids play with water guns same way. I don't know. I know Nerf guns are a thing, but yeah, they kind of look like one of them thing there at the time. But the front part of it look weird, but it just look like one of them gun there. And she puts it on his stomach, the same place where the agent dropped the thing in him. I don't even know what it's called. Anyways, so him did there and thing and it was like, looking for it and it's like, you're gonna lose it. And it's like, no, I'm not. I suppose like, I was like, look at it, yeah, I go lose it, look how far it I go, yeah, it'll run from you basically. And it's like, no, I'm not. And thing, I was like, clear, and shock him and the look on his face is like, yeah, shock me and thing, and it's like, pull out the thing and the thing end up looking very gross, and it just end up going on a little buckle with it on the end. And Neil's like, what the hell is that? It's like, what the hell is that? And them just take it on a straight out of the car, and the car continues driving down the road, and you can see it changes right back into that machine-looking thing, and the light on it, the red light or the eye, basically, blinks out until it fades out totally. Yeah. So they end up taking him now to this kind of looking abandoned house kind of thing or place, and he's taken to see Morpheus. Morpheus says to him that, hi, I am Morpheus and thing, and he's like, I'm very pleased to meet you, it's like a celebrity, Neo meet, and Neo's like, and Morpheus is like, no, the honor is mine. You know what I'm saying? Be glad for me, you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's like, take a seat. And him take a seat and thing, and Morpheus is like, it's almost like Morpheus says, I can't really believe I have him here sitting with me. It's like, yeah, say, yeah, but wait, now you are the boss, I are the star, all up to now, we just hear about this Morpheus, and we don't know, you know what I'm saying? We know, say, you're a badass or a big deal, all right? And him say, we know why you're here, right? And him say, boy, want know about the Matrix and thing, and it's like, Morpheus is like, do you want to know what it is? And Neo's like, Matrix is everything. It's what you see when you look out the window. And it's like, that just sound cryptic, bossy. What the hell are you talking about? It's everything. Oh, if it be everything. You be say, may I sit down upon Matrix? Everything. We are talking about, bossy. That mean that be like, but Neo's taking it in like, okay. And him going to it a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And then him say, unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. Now that was very interesting. And then he presents Neo with the choice. We all know what the choice is, right? Red pill, blue pill. You take the red pill. You wake up in your bed and you believe whatever you want to believe. Huh? It sounds familiar, right? This must sound familiar to many persons. You take the blue pill. You stay in Wonderland, and I take it to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. And just before Neo can take up the blue pill, Morpheus is like, remember, all I offer you is the truth. Nothing more. Basically, it's like a disclaimer, like, yo, there is so many things, but I can't tell you that you're going to like it. So after he take it and thing and drink the water, he goes to the room, right? And I have to basically just tell you everything while going to the scene, because may I tell us, this was the most interesting moment in the film for me. So he goes into the room and he sees the rest of the crew, right? Morpheus introduces them, and thing, and then tell him to sit down on one chair, and they hook up some wires to him, almost like they're doing, they're taking his vitals and stuff. And they say, time is against us, because by this time now, the agents, them depend on way basically again, because them, they know where to find them. And Neo looks into the mirror that he's seated next to. The mirror was broken. And then it does spin itself right in front of him. And he's like, you see that? And everybody I look upon him like them and say, he's beginning to see things, you know? And then he puts his finger on the mirror, but his finger goes through into the mirror. And when he pulls it out, it has a little bit of the mirror stuff on it, right? And as he looks at it, it starts to grow and move along his arm, along his body, you know, and thing. And he's like, you know, I need a location, you know. It's like, you know, he's going into arrest. And I don't know what the hell all of that was all about. And then he's like, no, Tank, no. And then as he says no, the camera kind of follows the mirror stuff's going through into his throat, basically, into the back of his throat. And then we start to hear the voice that's kind of sound more digital, like wah, 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 you know? Yeah, that's the best impression I can give of it. Anyways, he wakes up in a pod and he's seeing some pinkish liquid around him and thing. And he pushes his arms out almost like he's being born, right? And this is very good imagery. This is why the film is such a smash hit, because they use this imagery, and you're going to hear me talk about it so many times. They use the imagery to just drive it forward. So you're not hearing anybody expositing about every single thing, but you're seeing the imagery that brings you to be like, so this is what's happening. So he's up, and when he gets up, another gruesome sight for me at the time was seeing him have this long black umbilical that he must pull out of him throat, and it does look like he was throwing up, and I hate seeing people throw up. So yeah, him pull it up, and yeah. Ugh. So once he did that, now this machine came down and looked at him, right? And you can see it had a reflection in the monitor or whatever on its forehead of him. And it basically pulled the probe from the back of his head. And when that pulled off, all of the other umbilicals that were connected to his arms and legs just pull off. And like it just flush him down into the sewers. Yeah. I mean, I had to describe that scene from in the Matrix to out in the real world, right? So he awakens on the ship, and Morpheus said to him, say, welcome to the real world. And several transitions later, they're helping to build back his muscles, using acupuncture, which me never know that at the time said that them not do. Me wonder what them have all of these niggle thing in their body, right? And heal up some of the wounds of the umbilicals that they would have put on him, and the holes and plugs and stuff. Him wake up in one of the quarters them where them have, and Morpheus take him and show him to the crew again on the Nebuchadnezzar. Basically, show him them and, tell them, say, these persons and stuff, but the persons you don't know, natural born humans that haven't, weren't in the Matrix any at all. Yeah. So they hook him up to one of the chair them where they have. Morpheus gets in there and say, blood push up is something in the back of his skull. He said to him, say, this is gonna feel a little weird. Now it kind of sounds very, but then you see why him say it. Push it up in the back of his head and end up going into the simulation. In the simulation, Morpheus explains to him, and we're given that exposition, masterfully done by Lawrence Fishburne, I'm telling him. Basically, seeing the visuals as well. Because as he's talking, you know what I'm saying, seeing them liquefy the dead to feed the living, you know, and coming to understand the whole horror of everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wonder, you know, and thing. No wonder Neo got sick right after. So once him take him out of it, and when him basically was screaming to get out, him's like, no, me not believe you. Me not believe you say, you know, all of this. This can't be real. I'm saying, and Neo basically pops. Yeah, the guy everybody's like, sci-fi is like, he's gonna pop. And then we see Neo, you know, puking up on the ground and thing. And then he wakes up in his cell, like in his quarters again, right? I keep saying cell. Right. Morpheus comes to him and him basically say, you know, may I apologize to you because really and truly have a rule upon the ship here, which is we never free a mind once it's reached a certain age. But in your case, I believe that it was a necessary decision to do. Right? Basically, Morpheus never tell him everything, but he kind of does inside the fact that he believes that he is the one, right? And the prophesied savior destined to end the war between humans and machines. And this is why he believed that he had to do it, right? Tell him, say, yo, you have basically spent, and they tell him, you know, say, you basically spent a few years searching for me, but spend my entire life a search for you at Morpheus. You know. All right. So on to the fun part now. So Neo awakens once again. Oh, no, we are taken to a transition of Neo being visited by one of the crew members. And he basically, you know, I said to him, say, you know, very excited to see what you can do and thing, and you know, I'll take you to come train because Morpheus did tell him, say, you know, you have to go start your training and thing. So in carry him go hook him up in the chair and thing, and you know him say him put in one of the this them and it says Jiu-Jitsu, and Neo is like, I'm going to learn Jiu-Jitsu. And the man just laugh like him and say, you don't even realize what I got in the bossy. Anyways. And then, you know, him get a taste of it. So we don't actually see him in that part, you know. But he gets a nice taste of it and he likes it and say, he likes it. You want some more? And he's like, hell yeah. And he goes in again and, you know, and does seem like say, and all we see is like we see a 3D rendered image on our screen that shows like someone in combat on thing, you know, and where, you know, we can assume that's what he was doing all along. And we see the man look like him fall asleep, right? Look like him fall asleep and thing, and, you know, Morpheus walks in and him say, you know, how long has he been at it? And saying there's 10 hours straight, boss. The man is a machine. Yeah. I laugh because that's a hint to some of the stuff that are unveiled in the rest of the movies down the line. Wink, wink. We shall be doing those soon. Then Morpheus joins him in the program. And Morpheus, you know, exposits for the audience because we didn't get to see what Neo was doing in there. This is a sparring program. From here, we can, you know, do all of them thing there. So we'll be right back after these messages. Disclaimer. This podcast discusses themes of violence and may include graphic descriptions. The content is intended for mature audiences and is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised. If you enjoy this podcast and want to help it grow, I'd love your support. Since it's not monetized, my main goal is to connect with more listeners who share a passion for sci-fi. Please share the podcast with friends or colleagues who might enjoy it. And don't forget to leave a comment. Your support and feedback makes a big difference and keep the content coming. So hit me if you can. One say, all right, boom, 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 and start lick out some technique, boom, 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 and, boom, 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 and flip and yo, but say that, yo, better than any kickers where anybody can tell me, sit there and watch. Eh? I tell you, in a sci-fi movie, that is, yo. And so it spar for a while and thing, and Morpheus teach him lessons and as he goes, so he might tell him, say, you know, you think that's area breathing, because when I time, it's like, you must say, it moves too fast, boss, so make me can't keep up, and it's like, do you think that me being fast or strong has anything to do with my muscles in this place? And then, then little by little, I take on to what I must say and thing, and, it's like, stop trying to hit me and hit me. Morpheus is like, they are bat him round like my ragdoll and thing. And we see a point where he basically does like, him literally almost hit Morpheus. Like several times he moved so fast that Morpheus couldn't react in time, but he didn't, right? And then he's like, I know what you're trying to do. And Morpheus is like, the same thing, like, I offer you the truth, not more kind of style, like, me just try to show you a thing, me just try to show you so that you can be better than us. All right, so we get to the jump program, right? And in this simulation, there are two skyscrapers with a big gap in between. And Morpheus says to Neo, it's like, you need to get rid of doubt and disbelief right now. You need to free your mind, right? And Morpheus just be like, run up to the edge of the skyscraper and jump. And you just seem to float in the air, go right across into the other skyscraper. Yeah. And Neo is like, whoa. Neo say, all right, free your mind. Okay, let's do this now. Let's do this. And him run up. And then, he falls and drop in the middle of the street. But because it's a simulation, it kind of less show you where it just stretches out down in beneath, and then, plop him back on top. And him hurt himself, of course, and thing. And that's where he learns that if you hurt yourself in the Matrix, you can really hurt yourself in the real world, because, apparently the mind can harm the body in the same way. Yeah. So the body cannot live without the mind. Anyways, so they were asking, why is it that Morpheus wouldn't take Neo to see the Oracle, and thing, and Morpheus realized, say, why a time now, basically, after him take him through certain things. So, I should mention this before I get there, right? The girl in the red dress, right? Yeah, man. The girl in the red dress in the simulation can bring him to another simulation, and the agents are in that simulation, a simulation of the agents, and agent hold a gun right in front of Neo's face, and Morpheus is like, stop. And it's all because Neo wasn't looking, he was watching the girl in the red dress, which she was there for that reason, to distract, So yeah, that was that was it. Anyways, so after this now we see, perhaps they've been training him for a little while, and probably it's been a month or so or whatever. The Oracle, right? Bring him to the Oracle. He goes into the Matrix, right? And there's another thing I need to mention before we get to the Oracle once more. Bear in mind, I'm trying to go from memory in terms of what goes first before that. Anyways, he has a talk with Cypher. talk with Cypher, and Cypher is like, why didn't we take the red pill? Why did I choose the blue pill? You know what I'm saying? Like, and the way how Neo look at him like, bro, well, it's like, but they were drinking, so, like him take a swig of the thing and, almost cough up him lung and thing. And it's like, yeah, it's that bad, isn't it? Yeah, so they have that moment, right? And then we see that Cypher is a treacherous traitor because he meets with Agent Smith. I don't know how him get to do it. I'm assuming that while everybody was asleep and they would have been close to broadcast theft. So perhaps he used that opportunity to, go into the Matrix and meet up with Agent Smith, and Agent Smith tell him, say, he want Morpheus, right? Well, he basically tell him, say, he will give up Morpheus, right? And thing. Yeah. So, in plot for basically, take out the demon thing, because he wants to be able to get himself inserted back into the Matrix, right? And thing. Now, as they go in to see the Oracle and thing, it's almost like, when someone has grown up in a particular neighborhood and, they remember how it used to look when they did little, and it's nothing like what they remembered because they're now older now and they're seeing the place with a different perspective, that's the way how Neil look now coming in, after all this time trading and all of that. So, yeah. He goes to see the Oracle, and that's where he sees some of the potential other ones, potentially, that, they have different talents and skill, and they're able to make and do things, like the kid with the spoon who taught Neo a good lesson to, right? That there is no spoon. Just realizing that you cannot bend spoons, realize that there isn't no spoon. Anyways, all right. So Neo sees the Oracle, and the Oracle, tells him what he wants to hear, because at that time Neo wasn't ready for the truth, and I put that in quotation, that he's the one. But she did tell him that he has the skills and the gift, but he seems like he's waiting for something, And he's like, what am I waiting for, He's like, maybe the next life. Who knows, So after, he leaves the Oracle and thing, he's like, because she told him some not so good news as well. And he wanted to tell Morpheus right away. And he's like, Morpheus, I want to tell you. And he's like, Morpheus like, what was said is for you and you alone. So nobody come tell me nothing. Really no one know. Right? And so said, so done, because in the very next scene, because of Cypher's treachery, there's a change to the Matrix, which manifests itself as a black cat appearing and reappearing in the same position. So it's almost like deja vu to persons who are untrained. So Neo was there like, oh, deja vu. And they're like, what? What did you see? And he's like, well, I saw a black cat go there and then it went back there again. It's like, how much is it like this the other cat? Is it the same cat, or, them trying to get a understanding of it? And it's like, I wonder what the big deal is. And they're like, deja vu is a sign of a glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something. And the most gruesome things happen now, where one of the younger member of crew who was there waiting, them come in, and that is the agents and the SWAT, and, shoot out, and he, trying to stand his ground, died. Yeah. I must mention this as well. Morpheus did say to him, say, every agent that has stand their ground will have died. But where they have failed, you will succeed. That's what he said to Neo. And, at the time, it never made sense until this particular scene where we see they're trying to hide and sneak away through their wall. And as they go through the wall, the agent, perhaps detecting that Neo is right there, right in front of him, goes after Neo. And Morpheus, not wanting them to get Neo at this stage, decides to stand his ground in front of an agent. And he did well, until them, Pata bruise him, the SWAT come in and, knock him down. Yeah. I mean, that was a powerful and emotional moment there. So, because Neo knew what was going to happen, even though he didn't know exactly what was going to happen. And now that happened in front of him. Yeah. So Trinity and Neo and the rest of the persons who were in the wall, they end up getting out, but they had to run and stuff. And Cypher, because he knows, him that do all along, and he's part of the whole thing. He ran the other direction, and so Cypher now will tell a call on the phone, like him make a emergency call, to say, this is the situation. Yeah, this point and thing, him want to exit and thing. Anybody out there? And thing. Link say, all right, yeah, he kind of figures something is up. Now, Trinity and Neo and the rest of the crew, them make them way down the road and thing to the same location, because Link now gives them that same location because he realizes that Cypher is not with them, and Cypher gets to the phone first and he exits. And when him go in, the first thing him do is like, where are they? They all right? And he disappears, only to come back with one of the electrocuting guns, I think. One of the EMP guns, I think they used to fight the Sentinels. And him used it on Dozer and Link. Yeah. Yeah. And at that point I was like, oh shit. The end house is overrun now. Cypher takes up the thing there because Trinity them reach now and thing and answer the phone and thing, and them did there I wonder what going, in terms of how they're gonna get out now and thing. And Cypher is like talking to Trinity. I tell her, I say how him did interested in her and thing, and we saw that. We saw the fact that he didn't like the fact that she brought food for Nia at one point and thing, like, but I remember you bring me dinner, and then jealous and thing. Jealousy is a thing, not true. Yeah, man. In that movie, they must show you say, yo, jealousy is a thing, brother. Anyways, so at that point, he says, if you have anything to say to, APOC and what's her name, do so now. The Switch, that's her name. I keep mixing up with Link. Her name is Switch, right? Switch and APOC. They, he pulls the plug on both of them. And of course, the body cannot live without the mind, right? And mind in the matrix. So, yeah, disconnect them forever. Yeah. And then he makes his way to Neo, right? And him say, if it is prophesied and all of these things is true, then there will be nothing to stop me from pulling this plug, right? And we look as we think that there is something going to happen right now, and we realize Link surprise Cypher. Cypher say, I don't believe it. Answer his own question. I don't believe it. And Cypher blew him away with the same gun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Link blows Cypher away with the same gun there. Yeah. So Link helps them to escape, gets them back from the Matrix. And of course, right now they're concerned with the fact that they're down by many crew members who have died, you know, and the fact that their captain has been taken hostage and they're trying to break into his mind. So, they're basically like hacking into his brain. They equate it to being like the mind is like a computer and he has access codes and stuff in his brain and thing. And, basically they're trying to hack his mind. So Link tell them, so basically the only thing we can do is to unplug him, right? And he would understand because he knows that he's not supposed to have that happening because, by the way, Zion is where the party is going to be, right? Neo seeing this play out in front of him now recognizes that he needs to heed the Oracle's warning and he decides that he's going to rescue Morpheus because he now believes he can do it. He doesn't believe yet that he is the one, right? But at this moment, he begins to recognize that the prophecy are fulfilled in front of him and realizing that, faced with that truth, he is now becoming convinced that maybe there's something he can do. So, of course, Trinity is like, but now make it go anyway, not without me. Obviously because she's in love with it, right? And, the plan, them going and them have a big ratty shootout in the lobby. And this is one of the trailers that I saw for the movie before I watched it. And, we see the whole of the lobby blow up and all of that. They infiltrate in the, and thing, and Neo does some ratted Kimbo Pupalik, as we Jamaicans will say. He do some flick. You see me I say, and Trinity too. She do some flick and she, walk on the wall like how she walk on the wall in the opening. And, be a slow motion. They use a lot of slow motion in the movie, you know what I'm saying, which I like, right? They call it bullet time, actually, right? So, and this would have been what would have made a lot of other movies reference, the whole bullet time thing, and because it became popular. It may have been used, slow motion has been used in other ways before, but it was in the Matrix that we actually seen it being used in this way to depict certain things with guns and, all of that. Yeah. The triple kick where Neo do, that did bad too. Yeah, man. So, they blow up the lobby, as I said before, and they make their way to the top, the elevator, the top of the roof and thing, and them they're there and them fight off a few guys until one of the agents them turn in, and come in and thing, and the agent dodged the bullet them from Neo, and Neo, bust up some shot, and hit nothing but air, right? As Morpheus said. But then he starts to shoot at Neo, and Neo is like, Trinity, help! Because we're going to know. And thing, and him start bust shot off him, but then we see Neo do a ratted dodge there. The man dodge and dodge and dodge. So till he reach, him almost like him look like him at the limbo. When you had the limbo, and you go down and thing, and the man take time, go down. And if I dodge all I put them all nice and thing, until two graze him, boom, boom, make him drop a ground. And then the agent come stand up over him like he must say, still only human, ready for kill him, And Trinity pull up a gun right in front of him, dodge this, and does post a shot in the head, and he transfer and thing or whatever. Yeah. Trinity use the helicopter because that's her talent, I guess, or skill. She can assimilate information very fast and, use it, so she can fly a helicopter on command, right? So she fly the helicopter down to where the agents are holding Morpheus. And let me kind of backtrack a little bit. So at the same time as they had planted the bomb in the lobby, Agent Smith would have been talking to Morpheus. Basically, we are seeing his personality, we see the reality of who he is, because behind the fact that he's this, he might, have this bravado of being the leader and have this robotic exterior, we get to see him really, express himself, because he had a little chance with Morpheus by himself, and him did and him plead to Morpheus, like him say, yo, I'm tired of that place, I'm tired of operating this zoo. This place, it's the smell, and, it's repulsive and thing, And so he wouldn't have been in connection or, probably him go offline with the rest of the other agent them and things. So when the agent them turn up, they're like, what y'all deal with, bossy? What are you doing? So, as I mentioned before, they come with the helicopter now for rescue Morpheus. And as the helicopter lowers to the window, you see this badass looking Neo with, this heli gun, hell of a gun, right? And him just, bust up some shot and thing. And the agents are like, but can't believe, they're like, they can't believe neither. Like, where get this from, and bust up some shot and thing, and him basically kill the agents them, but the agents them would have respawned into other bodies, right? So, Morpheus now, they're there now and thing, and he's like, Morpheus, get up. And Morpheus just taking time and come back to himself and him break him chains of bondage. Yo, I mean, that was like, for a black man to see a black man breaking his chains like that, it's a message, It's a message, me tell you. Breaking his chains, man. Break the chain. Break the handcuff. And him get up and him run like him never run before. But the agents, them, as I said, they would have respawned outside, and so them come in, one thing, and Agent Smith pump several shots through the wall. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no way you can see as a human being, you couldn't be able to see behind the wall, but he's pumping shot behind the wall, like him tracking movements. And one of them land in a Morpheus' foot, and Neo realize him, now I'm gonna make it. And Morpheus realizes him now make it neither, so he plunge himself outside. And just as him plunge himself, Neo plunges himself for catch him, right? And him catch him and hold him. I mean, that powerful, man. That's a powerful message, Hey. So, Trinity realizing that Neo has Morpheus now, she starts to move the helicopter, but just as she's moving the helicopter, there comes Agent Smith again, pump 2 shots in the engine and make a gas start leak out. So, of course, the helicopter starts to, go, wankers. Yeah. And so, it leads up to another iconic moment again. So Morpheus is dropped off on the rooftop, and we see Neo, him drop and roll, you know what I'm saying, them tuck and roll kind of thing. And the same harness that he had that was in the helicopter, connected to the helicopter, him grab it up quick, like, within a second, he's moving very fast, But it's a slow motion of him catching it up and just holding on strong to it. And then, because the helicopter go over the side, of course, it'll pull him see away, and him dead, and him skate go down to the edge. And him hold on. You know what I'm saying? Him hold on. And just as the helicopter figure launch itself into a building, Trinity cut the harness now and hold on upon it. And him hold on upon it and, string her in and pull her in. Morpheus looks on like he must say, there it is. I told you. Right? And he's like, he basically say to Neo, he's like, no, do you believe? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you know, see what you can do. You know, see what you can do, brother. Look what you do a while ago. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else could have done that? No, only you, the one could have do it. And you might really bro out and thing, and so they end up escaping the rooftop. Just as them escape the rooftop, Agent Smith and him crony them come find the remnants of what took place. So we find them now down in a subway. That's where the exit is, the telephone that them can use to exit the Matrix. Morpheus goes first, and just as the phone ring again for Trinity for go next, Trinity they there talk to Neo, Yeah, she about to tell him what going on and thing. And she tell him and had that little tender moment, which was nice. And then a guy that is a homeless guy that's looking on, he would have seen Morpheus going into the phone. And so, the agent, get, triggered and, he comes there. Agent Spit ends up there. And just again, like with the opening, Trinity is exiting and boom, blow up the, bust a shot in at the phone, right? I can literally see she just about going into the phone at that time. She escapes, lucky for her, but Neo is there. And of course, Neo probably remembering the words of several of the crew members. When you see an agent, run your ass off, and he looks out like him ready for run. And the agent taking time a walk like him and say, oh, we have plan for run? Like, hey man, go and go run, man. Me run it down. And then Neo turn on like him and say, me not run. I believe I can beat you. And Neo and him have a little gunfight because, they run at each other trying to, shoot at one another until they're empty on the floor. And then Agent Smith throw him gun. Neo do the same thing. And then they do hand-to-hand combat. Neo get beaten, almost get dead because Agent Smith threw him right in front of one train, right? Ready for, train running over and thing. And him daddy taunt Neo because him keep calling him Mr. Anderson. And Neo say, my name is Neo. And, escapes that. And then decides, say, all right, all right, I need to get myself out of here because I can't manage you. Him end up going through a crowd of people, and say that's not a good thing because agents can spawn anywhere in anybody. Even one little girl mother, spawn in a little girl mother, right? And Neo was able to, dodge and ditch that and, end up reaching to where it could have been able to find the exit on phone in one building. And as he bust open the door, so Agent Smith is there. Agent Smith bust a shot in his chest. And it seems very unbelievable because at this point, you say, no man, he can't dead. The hero can't dead. You know what I'm saying? The hero can't dead. But him shot him 2-3 times again. And him, so till he after just, end up on the wall. And then Agent Smith does come over him and does give him one more shot. And he falls over plop on the ground. While Morpheus, Trinity, and Link, they look on from in the real world like, what the hell just happened? Mother one, he can't dead. Trinity say, you can't die because I love you too damn much. And she kiss him. And then when she kiss him, she's like, get up. And him get up. To the surprise of everybody watching. You know what I'm saying? He revive the agents, them who were on their way out. Them turn and see him. And him stand up. And it's like him, it's like he's transformed. He's no longer the same Neo a second ago, right? He has now been a different man. He's a different man. And he starts to look around his surroundings and he's able to see the actual matrix code. He's no longer seeing what everybody would be seeing in the simulation. He's actually seeing the world for what it is. Didn't I tell you this is powerful stuff? This is powerful stuff. Anyways, I'm a fan, okay? Again. So, they shoot at him and the bullets them stop in front of Neo. Because he's like, no. And him just make it stop. And him take one eye bullet them and look on it like him and say, eh. And him drop it. And the whole of the other bullets them just fall. And then Agent Smith come now for challenge him, and combat again, And him dead and him, whop, whop, whop. And Neo's like 2 hand and then 1 hand, and him just take time. I just see him in slow motion, just, lick one hand, because he can't touch him all now, and then Neo's almost like, he get tired of it now. I'm saying, all right. And he just kick him and him sail across the room. Just like how when Agent Smith they kick him earlier, him did sail too. But no, I him a sail across the room. Agent Smith get up now like him and say, can't believe say you have that power. Where you get that from? And then him just run. Now this was the most weird thing to me because I'm wondering, man just run and just dive right into him. Dive right into the agent. I don't know if this is unraveling my unraveling code. I didn't know at the time. I was wondering what the hell was going on. Why him go inside of him and why him, look like all sort of things that happened to him now. But now I know it was unraveling his code, basically. Right? Stay tuned for part 2. Right? But the agents, them was there now, them sister, them can't do nothing, so them flee. That does run off. Right? And while all of this was happening, the fight between Neo and the agent, they had another attack from the Sentinels because the agents would have sent the Sentinels to their location in the real world. So the Sentinels break into the ship, the Nebuchadnezzar, and was getting very, very close to them, right? To where they were situated. And just as, it got close enough to them, Trinity remind Neo say, need to come out now. Like she said, Neo! And Neo just run going at it, whisper the phone there. And him answer the phone, exiting, coming back to thing there. And they were able to arm the EMP same time. And EMP, knock out the Sentinels them totally. I mean, yeah, that was my reaction. I was like, final scene sees Neo talking on a phone and he's talking to the system. Him basically declare war on the system that him need humanity be free, right? And him a come for them. Him a go free them all. And then we see where the camera basically like steps out. It doesn't necessarily pan out, but it steps out until we see it's overhead. And then we just see one figure just start fly towards the camera. And we realize they're Neo. That's it for my analysis and interpretations. Hope you found it interesting. So as this is the first part of a 3-parter, right? Initial three-parter with a fourth part that was done much later on. And you can kind of say that it's not necessarily canon. It's just like added storyline, right? There isn't much I'm going to be doing in terms of the theories, but I can kind of extend a little bit on some of the things that I would have said so far, right? Now, bullet time, right? I mentioned it's an iconic scene, right, where Neo dodges bullets in slow motion, and we would have seen a similar thing with the scene where Trinity is in the building and the camera spins around her while she's in midair, right? So it's a similar technology, the same camera system that they use to do that. They use a similar setup for both, right? The scene where Neo rises from the dead and becomes a prophesied hero, it's just so poetic, yeah, and it's been suggested to be similar to a sort of reincarnation, bringing something new because Neo was on a journey, right? And initially, where he had started, where he has ended up is far further than anyone could have, prophesied for him, basically, right? Even though it was prophesied in that way. The woman in red, that scene and the whole discussion afterwards with Neo, where the guy was like, so what you think? What you think? And everybody's like, oh no, not this again. So because everybody realized that this is a thing that he does, like whenever he gets a chance, he lets everybody know that he's the one who designed the woman in red and thing. And we also saw where just before, you know, when he was waiting on them from come from the Oracle, he was looking at a picture with her signed, and all of that. The Zion Party. So I am not breaking canon by talking about it now, but essentially it was spoken about by Link. He brought it up. He was like, whenever the war is over, Zion is where the party is gonna be. And he goes into details about, or at least gives us an idea of what is to be expected. That, him never tell you say naked girl out there still, but he basically say, you know, it's gonna be an exciting time and we bite him in lips them, you have to say, something was up with that. Yeah. Them little things there, make more sense to me now. All right, so there are some stuff that stood out as well, mentioned in the themes, the reality and illusion, right? You know, when you look at reality, right, there are certain things that we accept, and we accept them because it happens, we just don't say that happen, right? Paying your taxes, going to church, going to school, right? You accept these things as things that happen in reality, right? But understanding the illusion makes you understand why some of these things are impractical or practical, right? And why certain things aren't the same things that we believe is the case, right? Fate and free will. So this was initially a choice between the red and the blue pill, which symbolize a conflict between fate and free will, right? And you would have remembered that if you have watched the movie, and I hope you have, the Oracle says to Neo that we don't say you're a man where not believing in the free will thing, you know what I'm saying? You believe so you have your own choices, your own life to live, basically. You in control of your life. So really and truly, you not believe that it's fate thing, right? You not believe say it is fated that this will happen. And so, you get to understand that, fate and free will might be, there might be something to it because the fact say, yeah, live your life. You might not know where you're ending up or how you're going to get there, but you will get there based on the same decisions, these paths, the predetermined paths that you're taking. Yeah. And many of us are on a path that has been set by our family or religion, our culture. And we don't even realize the things that we're doing aren't really our choices. We might be given that illusion that it's a choice, but really and truly, we have been primed to think that it is a choice when it's not. Body, mind, and spirit. So this is something that we probably will get into a little bit more when I talk about the other movies in the franchise. And essentially, we see where the body and the mind, we already start to see it here where it has been the central theme in terms of what is your mind really? Do your thoughts that are in your head, are they pre-programmed, right? Coming back to the whole idea of whether it's fate or free will, or have we been primed to believe or not to believe a thing, right? The Matrix, it gives you the illusion, right? While the body will feel something else, just as how Neo would have initially felt like something wrong. When I know how the world stays so. Why is there so many things not jiving? It don't make no sense. Yeah. And that's why he would have been on that journey from the beginning. He was searching, right? He was doing his research, right? Until he met someone who could help him to broaden his perspective and be able to see even more layers, right? Because he was used to seeing things this way, if someone wasn't there to guide him on his journey, he would not be able to uncover those deeper truths, right? And that's the nature of reality, right? In science, they have something to say about that, which is that the more you learn, is the more you realize that you don't know enough, right? The greatest scientists in the world will tell you that the more you find something, more you know about it, is the more questions you will have because, you know, you get to find out that this is what it is and that is that. So truth, or the truth in quotations, is not necessarily a one-off thing, right? And I dare say it cannot be found in just one book, right? Or one particular religion. It can be found in the realities of all. It's something that we have to grapple with as a human species if we are to move on or move to the next level, right? Just as Neo learned to move to the next level by grappling with the truth, it made him sick. The man puked, right? Because he can't believe this is unbelievable. Yes, sometimes it's so unbelievable, but it doesn't mean it's not true. Yeah. So those are my theories on some of the plot points. And as I mentioned, the plan is to do the other movies. We're definitely going to be going there because it didn't just end here, right? There's much more to the reality of the Matrix. If you have watched it, If you haven't watched it, watch it. If you have watched it, I'm sure you're better for watching it because at least you know something that others might not know. And just like how you have some people who they are presented the truth and they reject it, like Cypher, he wants to reject it and he wants to forget it. You have others who have come to learn the truth and come to grips with it, right? Over time, learning. Neo took some time. Many of us, we still are learning more. And that's why we continue to learn. This is why this podcast exists, for us to learn something from all these movies and TV shows that present reality in an allegoric format that it can be easily taken in. Hmm? So those are my theories. Share your theories. Whether you think you agreed with my theories, whether you think that there are some of the things that I left out, because I do leave out a lot of things, sometimes on purpose, sometimes ignorantly. So let me know what I have left out and anything that you liked in particular about what I have presented. So in this episode, we looked at The Matrix, questioning reality in a digital world. And we would have learned or garnered at least the idea that much like Alice, who discovered a whole new world, a different, completely, absolutely crazy world, that sometimes the truth is not just one truth, but a myriad of different things compounded. And that is why we don't just stick with what we have been told, but sometimes we have to see it for ourselves. And we have to go deeper. And we have to learn from our mistakes, right? That is what life is about in the end, isn't it? And there you have it. Another thrilling chapter in our voyage to the universe of sci-fi television. We've hit 700 downloads. Thank you for your amazing support. Now, we continue to journey towards 1,000. Every bit of engagement counts, so follow, comment, and share your thoughts. Until we meet again, keep exploring the unknown.